You're sitting at your desk, looking at the same numbers you've been staring at for months. You've done everything they told you to do. You've read the books, you've watched the gurus, and you've put in the hours. But for some reason, you feel like you're running on a treadmill, moving fast, but staying in the exact same place. You wonder if you're just not cut out for this, or if there's some secret code to success that everyone else was given except for you. What if I told you that the reason you're stuck isn't because you aren't working hard enough? It's because you're trying to solve level 3 problems with a level 1 mindset. Every single successful entrepreneur you admire didn't just get lucky. They passed through specific, predictable stages of evolution, and right now you are likely trapped in one of them, blinded by the very habits that got you this far. If you don't understand which level you're currently standing on, you will continue to waste years of your life chasing the wrong goals. But once you see the map, everything changes. Today, we are going to walk through the 5 levels of the businessman's journey. By the end of this, you won't just know where you are, you'll know exactly what you need to sacrifice to reach the next level. Level 1, the Survivalist. At this stage, you aren't really a businessman yet. You're a hunter. You wake up every morning with one thought on your mind: survival. You're trading your time for every single dollar that comes in. You're the CEO, the marketing department, the customer service rep, and the person who sweeps the floor. You feel a constant sense of anxiety, because if you stop moving, the money stops flowing. This is the stage of the hustle. You take every client that comes your way, even the ones who drain your soul, because you're terrified of saying no to a paycheck. You think that more work is the solution to all your problems. You tell yourself that once you hit a certain revenue goal, you'll finally relax. But you're lying to yourself. You've created a self-employed trap. You work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40, and your hourly rate is likely lower than it was at your old 9 to 5. You have no passive income, no systems, and no sleep. The level 1 trap. You believe your value is tied to your effort. You think that being busy is the same thing as being productive. How to level up. You have to stop valuing your hard work and start valuing your systems. You have to realize that your sweat doesn't scale. The only way to move up is to stop being the doer and start becoming the architect. But doing that requires a level of trust that most people at this stage simply don't have. And that brings us to the next hurdle. Level 2, the manager. You've finally made some money. You've hired a couple of people, or maybe some freelancers, to take the load off. On paper, you're moving up. But in reality, you've just entered a new kind of hell. Now, instead of doing the work, you spend all your time watching other people do the work. And usually, they aren't doing it as well as you would. You find yourself saying, it's just faster if I do it myself. This is the bottleneck phase. You are the center of the universe, and every decision, no matter how small, has to go through you. Your phone never stops buzzing. You're stressed not because you're broke, but because you're overwhelmed. You have successfully built a machine, but you're the only gear that makes it turn. If you disappear for a week, the whole thing collapses. You have achieved financial stability, but you have zero freedom. You feel like a babysitter rather than a visionary. You're drowning in Slack messages, emails, and quick questions from your team. This is where most businesses die, at the hands of a founder who refuses to let go of the steering wheel. The level 2 trap. The "I'm the only one who can do it right" mindset. This ego-driven thought is the ceiling on your wealth. How to level up. You must move from managing tasks to leading people. You have to stop hiring hands and start hiring heads. You need to build a culture where your team is empowered to make decisions without you. To reach the next level, you have to face the one thing every entrepreneur fears most: the risk of things going wrong without your intervention. Level 3, the strategist. This is where the game starts to get interesting. At level 3, you've finally stepped back from the day-to-day chaos. You have a team you trust, and for the first time, you have the most valuable asset in business: headspace. You're no longer asking, how do I do this? You're asking, who should do this? And why are we doing this? You start to see the bigger picture. You're looking at market trends. You're refining your offer, and you're focusing on high-leverage activities. You've realized that one good decision is worth 1,000 hours of busy work. Your income starts to decouple from your time. You might take a Wednesday off and realize the business actually grew while you were gone. This is a massive psychological breakthrough. However, this level comes with its own unique demon, the guilt of ease. Because you aren't grinding in the trenches anymore, you feel like a fraud. You see your team working hard, and you feel like you should be doing something real. If you aren't careful, you'll dive back into level 2 tasks just to feel productive again. This is a dangerous curiosity loop. The level 3 trap, the urge to fix things that aren't broken just to feel needed. How to level up. You must accept that your value is now your judgment, not your labor. You are now the captain of the ship, looking at the horizon, while the crew manages the sails. To reach level 4, you have to stop thinking about your business as a job and start thinking about it as an asset, a financial instrument that can be bought, sold, or automated entirely. Level 4, the owner. At level 4, you have achieved what most people only dream of: true detachment. You don't work in the business at all. You own the asset. You have a CEO or a general manager running the show. You might check in once a week or once a month for a high-level briefing, but the machine runs perfectly without you. In fact, the business might even run better when you aren't there. That's a hard pill for your ego to swallow, but it's the hallmark of a level 4 businessman. Your focus has shifted entirely to capital allocation. You're looking at how to take the profits from business A and use them to acquire business B. You're playing a game of Tetris with companies and assets. You've moved from being a participant to being a player. You understand that your business is just a product, and one day, you will likely sell it for a life-changing exit. This is the level of legacy wealth. You're no longer building a lifestyle, you're building an empire. At this stage, your network changes. You aren't hanging out with hustlers anymore. You're hanging out with investors, M&A lawyers, and other owners. You realize that wealth isn't about how much money you make, but how much money you make while you sleep. The level 4 trap, comfort. Many people get to this level and stop. They have the cars, the houses, and the freedom, so they lose their edge. How to level up? The final jump requires you to move beyond the pursuit of money. To reach level 5, you have to find a why that is bigger than your own bank account. You have to move from building wealth to building history. Level 5, the visionary. This is the level of the icons. At level 5, you aren't just running businesses, you're shifting industries. You aren't responding to the market, you are creating it. Think of the names that define eras, the people who don't worry about competition because they operate in a league of their own. At this stage, money is simply a scorecard for how much impact you're having on the world. You use your resources to solve massive systemic problems. You aren't just selling a product, you're selling a future. Your life is no longer about business in the traditional sense. It's about influence, philosophy, and long-term human progress. You have total mastery over your time, your mind, and your environment. You've realized that the greatest luxury isn't a private jet. It's the ability to think clearly and act decisively on a global scale. The reality of level 5. You realize that the journey was never about the money. It was about the person you had to become to handle the responsibility of each level. Which level are you on? Now, look at your life right now. Not the life you post on Instagram, but your actual day-to-day reality. Are you terrified of your phone ringing because it means another fire to put out? Are you making great money but feel like you have no time to breathe? Are you bored because the business runs itself and you're looking for the next big challenge? The biggest mistake you can make is trying to skip a level. You cannot be a level 4 owner if you haven't mastered the level 3 strategy. You cannot be a level 2 manager if you haven't survived the level 1 hustle. Each level requires you to kill a version of yourself. To get past level 1, you must kill the worker. To get past level 2, you must kill the control freak. To get past level 3, you must kill the ego. To get past level 4, you must kill the comfort. You have the map now. The only question is, are you willing to pay the price to move to the next level? Or are you going to stay exactly where you are, staring at the same numbers, wondering why nothing is changing? The next level is waiting for you, but it won't accept the person you are today. It only accepts the person you're about to become. Success isn't a destination, it's an evolution. Get to work.